The Grillaz on the Rebel.
Scotty, we are joined by a legend, mate.
I can't wait to speak to him either.
One of my heroes, and I'm not just saying that. Aron, Omar Sheriff, thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
Right, we've got so much to talk about, mate. I mean, I'm going to start with the obvious. A few weeks ago, your fourth in a row Aussie Open, 7 in total. For me, potentially, you are now the GOAT. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not just saying that, not just because I've played with you.
Look at his eyes, he's in love.
I am, it's great, isn't it? Mate, it must feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose touching on that GOAT thing, I'm a massive sports fan, so I'm one that sort of thinks of errors, so maybe at the moment in my era, I'm maybe one of the best. But as far as the GOAT term goes, that's the greatest of all time. So, it's a bit... subjective, I guess.
Yeah.
So, look to sort of cement my authority on the Australian Open and winning my fourth and also, number 7.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty special. Had my wife and kids there, and it's at my home club at Broadbeach, and it's just an amazing event for me, and been lucky that I've been able to have a lot of success in it.
Just that you say about the GOAT and things like that, and just your standing in the game of bowls, who do you look up to?
Yeah, well, I guess that's changed over time. Originally I had my original coach, George Dawes, at Halakalani on the Central Coast in New South Wales. He was my main mentor in the first 5 or so years. So he's always been the guy that I've looked back, and he started me off, took me under his wing. I was only 10 years old, and he was in his 60s and still playing state bowl. So for him to take a risk like that was pretty huge. But, I've had great mentors all the way through. But probably recent times, I guess Alex Marshall from Scotland, he's probably my GOAT, so to speak.
Well, he's the name I would put alongside you, I'll be honest with you. I love watching Alex.
Yeah, and he's probably been my greatest adversary in the last, 10 to 15 years. So, just the way he handles the situations, the pressure, doesn't sort of let it get to him. You don't really know, like his demeanour doesn't change too much. I like to wear my heart on my sleeve, but that's just me. And more often than not, it's just me getting out of my own head and restarting things and, just getting back in the zone. So, probably Alex in the last 10 years is probably the guy that I've always tried to, I guess, compare myself to, if you'd use that term.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing guy, a great friend of mine now. So it's cool.
You're quite a modest guy. How do you feel? Like I've played in these events, as you know. I don't win many of them.
How well did you go?
I don't win many matches. Never mind events themselves. But that pressure, I can't get my head around how you handle that. So you're going in against thousands of other competitors. Do you even think about how many people are there? Do you just take one match at a time? Is that kind of how you approach matches?
Kind of. But I mean, I touched on it after the AO. The hardest thing for me is getting through the section. You got 3 sectional games. I generally don't know who my opponents are in those games because there are...
Could be Chris Clegg at Mermaid. I mean, that happened once.
Well, I do know you now.
He'll have a big smile there and go, this is going to be easy.
No, but I guess, it's about me sticking to my process, my routine and that. And if I get through that, and I know it's all cliche, but it is then only one game at a time, getting to 21 quicker than my opponent. It's, it's sort of a pretty basic mindset. But when it's just me against me, that's when I feel most comfortable. So obviously you're winning it, you go straight back into the random draw and you get sectional play and don't know where you're going to be starting off or who you're playing against and those sorts of things. So winning it the year before doesn't give you any privileges.
No.
And I guess that's probably what makes it all that more special. 4 in a row, 1,300 competitors at the start. And haven't been beaten. Yeah.
See, in 2023, you won the singles and the mixed indoors. What's the comparison, the indoor to the outdoor, the bowls? How does that go?
I guess depending on the carpet with the indoors, so that they are different manufacturers, different carpets, that sort of thing. But there's no elements.
Okay.
So obviously outside, you got the wind, the rain, all sorts of other stuff. How the greens are prepared, different greenkeepers have different practices, all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of variables in the outdoor, whereas in the indoor, you've kind of got just it's all covered. There's no wind, there's no nothing. It's just the carpet. Maybe a little bit of like heat, air conditioning, cooling, all that sort of stuff may make slight differences.
Yep.
But mostly on the indoor, it's all the same over and over and over again.
Yeah, Phil.
I did enjoy the interview after the Aussie Open win, where you kind of touched upon the fact that you used to be a bit of a party boy and you kind of like settled down, you go over home to your wife and kids, and it's really helped you kind of being at Broadbeach and getting and really settled. You've actually, as a dream for some people, 39 years old and having played hundreds of internationals, now retired from international cricket. What's going on there? So what decisions have you made, and how has it benefited you as a bowler?
Yeah, I guess where I was going with that was, the first few years when it came up to the Gold Coast, I was obviously younger. I didn't live on the Gold Coast, never really been here much. And then you get to come up here. The weather's fantastic. The nightlife's incredible. And I do like to have a dance and a drink and a party and whatnot. So I suppose I sort of got carried away with that a little bit. Fast forward a few years, 2018, I moved up permanently with Amanda and the kids, and settled here. It was my home base. I'd experienced all those nightlife fun stuff, and it was just something that didn't interest me anymore. So I still like to have a good time and all that sort of thing, but when the AO's on, I get to go home every night, sleep in my own bed. I get up in the morning, I go to work. Even on some of my playing days, if it's close enough to Broadbeach where my sectional games and things are, I'll go into work in the morning, just try and keep a normal routine.
Yeah.
And I think just being able to have that home life away from the AO, not getting caught up in all the fun and the shenanigans.
Yeah.
And just keeping it sort of as close to my real life as possible, it's definitely helped.
With that too, you can see multiple sports have the same similar problems where people come up to the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
It's got that party life where it's rugby league, AFL, and they get sucked into that and drawn into that sort of life.
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like a young fella grew up in bloody Budgewoi.
Yeah.
Half the listeners here wouldn't have a clue where Budgewoi was.
Including me.
That's right. And don't worry, even my wife said, I would never live in a town called Budgewoi. She grew up in Sydney, and then all of a sudden she married a bloke from Budgewoi.
Yeah.
So that turned itself around. But so I was a little quiet coastal town on the Central Coast of New South Wales. So I'd never seen the nightclubs like they've got up here and that unreal nightlife and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was kind of like my 21st all over again. Every year I come up for the AO.
It is though, and I said to you a few weeks ago, I just love the Aussie Open. I haven't played for a couple of years because I've just had a kid myself, and I'm balls deep in that. I'll cut that bit out. But yeah, I'm really deep into being a father at the moment. But when you go down and you call in the clubs, I just love the atmosphere. People stereotype balls as being for older people, but there's lots of young blokes. They come up. It's party time, isn't it? They play their balls, they go out, they have so much fun, and that's part of the Aussie Open, isn't it? It's just brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, unfortunately our sport does get stereotyped as an old person sport, but it's totally changed now, like with the colour, the different atmospheres, BPLs, UBCs, those sorts of events have like brightened it up, coloured bowls, bigger prize money, live on Fox Sports, all those sorts of things. It's just, we're chipping away at that stigma. Which is really exciting. And look, obviously with the Gold Coast being the host, I think we've still got another 4 years hosting the AO at least. People use it as a holiday. They come up, they experience it. There's a lot of lay days in the first week, so you might have a sectional game, then you got 2 or 3 days off, and then you're back in a section, another day off here and there. So it's a great place. The weather's amazing. Obviously our winters are much better than the southern states, so there are a lot of younger guys, families, all that, they're coming up on the Gold Coast and experiencing the AO and having a great time.
And not just that too, like with, you say the Gold Coast is your home now and the AO is going to be here for the next 4 years, but we do a lot of travelling around Queensland and things too. We go network, so we've got Billawheeler, we go far north Queensland and things like that. But every town you go to has got a bowling green.
Yeah, they do.
It's sort of the hub of the community in town.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically every town now, you can go travel around and you'll always stumble across a bowling club.
I don't know how they play matches because some of them are like 500k from the nearest other town, but they still do.
That's a few roadies in between.
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
That's right, and that's sort of what makes me laugh a little with, like even for us, Beanley got to go to Coolangatta. It's not even an hour.
No.
But then I know mates of mine that I grew up with, they'd have to go from Dubbo to Cobar for a game, and that was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's... You got to get up, drive 3 hours, play a 4-hour game of bowls, and travel home 3 hours and things like that. So it's we're lucky, and that's probably, other than the weather and the lifestyle and everything, why the AO is on the Gold Coast is because we've got 26 clubs within half an hour from the hub of Broad Beach. So it's just the perfect place.
Internationally then, mate, so you've kind of retired quite early, some might say. I get it. Is that kind of set in stone now? You're retired from internationals, and what brought about that decision?
Yeah, no, I'm no John Farnham, no more comebacks. So I'm done. I had over 400 games for Australia. It's been 17 years of my life. Had some incredible highs and some lows, as you do in all sorts of sports, but yeah, just the travel. I mean, I got to a point where I'd be needing to go away to an international camp or something like that, and I was like, I just didn't even want to pack my bag. It was just like, time's up. Yeah, I'm done. My kids are at an age now. Connor's 10, Zoe's 14. Zoe's killing it in the cricket at the moment, playing for the Helensvale Hawks and part of the Gold Coast Dolphins and that sort of stuff. So, I want to see them succeed. Obviously with 17 years in international sport, there's a lot of things you miss, and I don't really want to miss much more of what the kids are doing. So
fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, I've had my time in the sun, and now it's time for me to sit back and
enjoy theirs. I mean, they grow
exactly
up
right.
very quickly. They grow up very quickly.
Are you happy to stay with us for the second part of the show, Aron?
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
No drama.
Well, we'll keep you around, but I want to touch on the state of bowls and the financial situation. I've worked in other sports, and there's not as much money in bowls. So I think in the second part of the show, I just want to talk to you about that. So keep it here on Rebel FM with the Grillaz. Aron Sheriff stays with us for the next part.
The Grillaz on the Rebel.
It's nearly time to wrap up the show, but we did talk about earlier that we're going to mention the financial element of sport. So I used to work in the sport of darts, and when it was becoming really big, and now the top darts players are millionaires. And do you feel that bowls doesn't get the recognition it deserves and the financial injection that it should have?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you only got to probably look at the results of the Australian Jackaroos in the last 15 years, and we're probably one of the most successful sporting teams in Australia, and that's all sports. Multiple gold medals, number one in the world. We've got the Commonwealth Games guys are heading off to, I think, this week to trial for the Games next year, and Aaron Wilson's one of our players. He's going for 3 singles gold medals in a row, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, as far as that's concerned, I think we are behind the times a little bit. But I guess one thing we do have that a lot of other sports, amateur sports, I suppose, like we are, we've got bowling clubs behind us. And I know it's a double-edged sword, but obviously with gaming and poker machines and things like that, clubs can make profits. Bowls is obviously a great tax break for a lot of those clubs. So having greens and things helps clubs with their offset some taxes and things. So we're very fortunate that we got great clubs that look after us, plus our sponsors and things. But I think there's some areas that maybe at the top level of sport we could definitely change things to make it more attractive to those sponsors.
That's a shame that they're not. Publicly, they're not pushing the bowls thing. And like you said, that the amount with the highest achievers in any sport in the country, and to not push that is ridiculous.
Well, it takes me back to the darts. 30 years ago, darts was exactly the same. You'd walk into a pub and you'd be served by a darts player who's number one in the world. Which I used to get embarrassed because I walk up to you and I look at you and I'm like, it's Aron Sheriff, and then you serve me a pint, and I'm like, this is. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful. No. I think you should be earning millions of dollars, and that's the way I see it. And Barry Hearn.
Aaron thinks that too.
Yeah, and Barry Hearn did it with darts, and he got the commercial interest. I've talked to him about it actually, and he said, "Oh, there's not enough participation." I said, "Bullshit. I'm sure there is, but maybe not worldwide."
Yeah.
But you look at people with money in this country, and I think there's something we can do. I really do. I just think you guys that are top of your sport, the GOATs potentially should be earning that amount of money. That's just kind of my opinion. But
I think, a few of our guys been talking about it recently. You look at, say, like even a sport like golf, for instance, right? They're making a huge amount of money and all that sort of stuff. But up until the last 10 years, it was pretty boring to watch. Now with the swing,
still think it is.
Yeah, but with the swing speeds, the ball tracker, all those sorts of things, you can actually sort of get a bit of an idea of where the ball's gone, all those sorts of things. Well, why can't we try and implement some sort of that technology in our sport?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you got the bowl tracker going down the green, the speed of release. So if you let the bowl go at 4.5 kilometres an hour or whatever it is, and you finish a metre past, well, the next delivery is 4.3.
Yeah.
Is that a metre off? It sort of engages the spectators a little bit, and it gives us a point of difference. So I think those sorts of areas need to be explored and make it a little bit more viewer-friendly on television. Obviously, the most boring part of our game is rolling the jack. It's just a lot of dead space, so BPLs and UBCs have decided to place jacks and things, which cuts a lot of time out. So we're heading in the right direction, but it's definitely frustrating when you go away and you play for Australia and you win 5 out of 10 gold medals and you're number one country in the world, and then you turn on Fox Sports News and you watch some bloke carrying his missus in Sweden, and all of a sudden that's headline news, and
rolling down a hill after some cheese or something.
Exactly, and that's super frustrating. And I mean, if we're having that sort of a success as an Australian sporting team, I don't understand why we ain't getting that exposure.
Yeah.
So you said earlier that your international career is over, by choice, of course.
Yep.
2032 is coming up. Is there a slight possibility, being in your home state,
if
you can still sleep in your own bed, if the bowls obviously is that, would you have a crack at it?
Oh, that's a long pause.
I know. Look, the decision would have to be made. The decision would have to be made pretty quickly, because I wouldn't feel right maybe having 5 years away from international bowls and then coming back just because of the Olympics. I mean, if that decision was made in the next sort of couple of years and my form was up to it and I could get back into the program and deserve my position in the team, well, then maybe that might be a lure that could get me out of retirement. But again, there'd be so many factors. I mean, in 2 or 3 years' time, my daughter will be 16, 17. Where's her cricket at? What's my young fella doing? Where's my life at family-wise and all that sort of thing? Do I enjoy retirement? Do I want to come out of retirement and do it all again? So, as I said, I don't want to be one that jumps in and out of retirement. I think that's wrong. But yes, definitely an opportunity to win an Olympic medal would be something that I would have a little think about for sure.
Excellent.
Love it. We don't know. He's still on the fence, but we'll. Aron, it's been an absolute pleasure here on the Grillaz on Rebel FM. Thanks for joining us. I hope you'll come back soon and talk to us again.
No worries, guys. It's awesome to get in the studio with you and have a chat first time. And let's make it a real thing.
Thanks Aaron. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.